Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Beth Yeshurun
Shabbat Shalom.
during this December holiday. Rabbi Strauss is away this weekend, so we're leading the service in his, in his absence, and we're going to begin with Hine Matov. Please rise now as we bless the Shabbat candles. Page 4.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
You may be seated as we welcome the Shabbat angels with Shalom Aleichem, page 5.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asheret, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Bachoni L'Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzeitem L'Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei
I think the Shabbat angels brought in a little bit of wind into the room. It's getting a little bit cooler now. So we're going to continue with Shiru Ladonai, page 13.
Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai Baruch Shemo, Nasru miyom leyom Yeshuato. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz.
Vayismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz. The heavens will be glad and the earth will rejoice. Page 14. And now we welcome the Sabbath bride herself, the Sabbath queen, Lecha Dodi, page 23. And now that we've welcomed the Sabbath angels and the Sabbath bride, let's welcome each other. Say Shabbat Shalom to the people next to you. Okay, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So now that we've welcomed everybody, we've also welcomed those who are mourning into our congregation. And to those who are mourning, we offer words of comfort from our tradition. Hamakom Yenachem Etchem B'toch Shar Avalei Tzion V'Yerushalayim. May God's presence bring you comfort amongst the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. And to those who are in mourning, those observing a yard site, will now recite the Mourner's Kaddish on page 30. Yit Kadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah B'yalma Divrach Yirutei V'yamlich Malchutei B'chayechon Uvyomechon Uv'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'gala Uvizman Kari V'yamru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Li'alam Li'almei Almaya. Yit Barach V'yishtabach V'yit Pa'ar V'yit Ramam V'yit Naseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei Dekudsha Berechu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Da'amiran B'yalma V'yamru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yamru Amen. Osei Shalom B'mramav Hu Ya'asei Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yamru Amen. We now ask everyone to rise for Baruch Hu, page 39. You may be seated. And now this special Shabbat, which comes right after the winter solstice, when the days are shortest, the nights are longest, and we're getting ready for the secular new year. We're going to say the blessing, the first blessing before the Shema, which is about God's creation, thanking God for creating such a beautiful world. Bottom of page 39.
אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב הרביב.
Amen. With timeless love you have loved your people, the house of Israel. You have taught us Torah, mitzvot, statutes, and laws. Therefore, Adonai our God, as we lie down and as we rise up, we shall speak of your laws, rejoicing in the words of your Torah and your mitzvot forever and ever. Avat Olam, page 40.
חוקים ומשפטים אותנו ושפתיך לעולמות, כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך.
We continue silently with the paragraphs on page 42.
Adonai Elohechem emet.
Who was like you, Adonai, among the mighty? Who was like you, adorned in holiness, revered in praise, working wonders? Michamocha, page 44. go from riding that high of all that excitement and that exuberance and that joy and that prayer of Mi Chamocha to a calmer, a quieter prayer for a little bit of rest and peace and sleep. It's hard to get good sleep sometimes. We turn to page 45 for Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu el Shalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu el Shalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim Ushmur Tziteinu Uvoeinu L'chaim Shalom Me'ata ve'ad olam. Times I lay under the moon and I thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more war and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, oh, one day, one day, one day. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu el Shalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu el Shalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורי סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat. The children of Israel will observe the Sabbath from generation to generation. V'shamru, page 46.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת כשבס לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת
rise.
יתגדל ויתגדל שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי וחי יכול אביון ואחד ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם לעולמי עולמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי לקודשו
בריחו.
בכל לילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן.
And now we are able to have a private audience before God with the private silent Amidah for Friday night, beginning on page 47 and going to page 52. Page 51, Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam v'shalom Rav al kol yoshvei tevel tasim leolam shalom. B'Ramav, Oseh shalom. B'Ramav, Hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down. Oseh shalom. B'Ramav, Oseh shalom. B'Ramav, Hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down.
Now we'll have one more prayer for those in need of special healing of body, soul, or spirit. And we have in mind, of course, our brothers and sisters and cousins and friends in Israel who need some uplifts, who need some peace, who need some comfort and support. As we sing the Misha Berach prayer, let's keep them in mind, as well as those of our friends and family who are in need of such support. Misha Berach on the inside back cover of our prayer books.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing for us and all of those we love. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
You may be seated. We continue with Kaddish Shalem.
יתקדש ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה קירותי, וימליך מלכותי, וחייכון ומחונפי תחו בית ישראל, בגלה בזמן קריב וימרו, אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה, שמי דקודשה, בריאה וחטא ונחמתה דמירן מעלמה ואימרו אמן תתקבץ לתוכן ובעדתך ישראל קודם עבור ושמיה ואימרו אמן יהי שנם רבה משמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואימרו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואימרו אמן.
Shabbat Shalom. Since it is December 22nd today, I figured there's really only one holiday I can talk about tonight. You know which one I'm talking about, of course. Winter solstice. What'd you think I meant? In fact, last night was the winter solstice. December 21st was the one day of 2023 with the least amount of sunlight and the most darkness of the whole year. Every night leading up to last night grew longer and longer, the period of daylight shorter and shorter until winter solstice hit. And then the reverse process began. The period of daylight gradually growing longer, the period of darkness shorter. Winter solstice. Winter solstice might be the only universally and continually celebrated holiday, period, bar none. All religions, every culture, all people throughout time have marked the solstice. The Hindus call it Maghi. Christians co-opted the Germanic Yule celebration, decided that's when Jesus was born, which is very clever of them. In East Asia, it's called Dongji, and the Iranians call it Yalda. Everyone, really, everyone marks the winter solstice. But what about the Jews? I'm glad you asked. Somebody is asking, I'm sure. There's a very funny story in Tractate Avodah Zarah in the Talmud, written by our ancient rabbis 2,000 years ago. They start off by saying, well, we don't celebrate those holidays. Elu Edehen Shel Ovdei Kochavim. These are the festivals of the star worshippers. And they say, which ones? Calendae and Saturnalia. And that sparks a discussion. That's a very Talmudic thing where somebody mentions something and someone goes, that reminds me. Ooh, that reminds me. Ooh, that reminds me. It's a very Jewish book. So one rabbi asked, well, when are these festivals celebrated? And the other rabbis answer him, well, Calendae is the 8 days after the winter solstice, and Saturnalia is the 8 days before it. And that, of course, reminds the rabbis of another story. Another story that I think points to the universality and at the same time, the very Jewishness of a date such as this one. They tell the story. Lefi Adam Harishon Yom Shemi Ma'at. When the very first man, Adam Harishon, Adam, saw that the day was progressively diminishing, he said, Oy li, woe is me. Perhaps because I sinned, the world is becoming dark around me and will ultimately return to tohu vavohu, chaos and disorder. This is the death that was sentenced upon me from heaven. You have to cut the guy a little slack, okay? He'd been alive for like less than a week, you know? So all he knew was that the daylight, the time of sun and sight and warmth and safety, was shrinking. And the time of dark and cold and fear and chaos was growing. And so, the rabbis teach, he fairly reasonably assumes that the world is now being uncreated, descending back into tohu vavohu, the chaos and despair that was all that existed before God spoke the universe into being and gave it order. Bereshit bara Elohim, you know, in the beginning God created that stuff. Adam truly thinks it is the end for him. And so he spends these 8 days of diminishing light in fasting and prayer. So what ends up happening? Is the world unmade? Of course not. When he saw that the season of Tevet, that's the Hebrew month we're in right now, the season that also falls during winter solstice, and he saw that the days were progressively lengthening, he said, Min chago shel olam. This is the order of the world. And then the Talmud tells us every year to mark the winter solstice, he would celebrate for 8 days. 8 days of prayers and celebration and festivities, which sounds an awful lot like a holiday we celebrate during this time of year for 8 days. We might overlay our holidays a little bit too. The funny thing is that the rabbis are very quick to say that, yes, of course, we do mark the winter solstice. Thusly, it's those pesky Roman pagans. They stole the idea from us. Well, it was us Jews who did it first. I already gave a Hanukkah sermon. This is not the point. What strikes me about this very funny story that the rabbis have about Adam, the first man, and his experience with the diminishing light and the growing darkness, is that it really underlines the universality and the very Jewishness at the same time that is inherent in winter solstice. Because it's Adam HaRishon, right? It's the first man, so really representing all people. Everybody have this fear of the dark. Not a fear of the literal dark, because it's still true now in an age when we can see at night, we have electricity. It is very human to have an anxiety about darkness, about chaos and disorder and confusion, and in fact, growing darkness, a world that seems to be descending into chaos, a darkness that seems to be growing and growing unabated, swallowing all the light until it seems that one day darkness is all that there will be. I don't think it's a stretch to say that that's how it feels these days. But what Judaism teaches is that, yes, the darkness is so very dark. And it is normal, it's natural to fear, like Adam, the first man, did. It is natural to fear that the darkness will consume the world, become a black hole of despair, tohu vavohu. Have you felt that way in the past darkening months? I'm asking you for real, like, have you felt that way at all? Yeah, I don't think I've talked to any Jewish person who has not felt that way at some point. So it's okay for you to admit feeling that. It's human. It's eternal. This Talmudic story is over 2,000 years old. But in the story, and in real life, actual life, does the darkness cease? Do the days eventually become more and more light, have more happiness than sadness, more joy than pain? Yes. Somebody was brave enough to say it. Winter solstice always, eventually arrives. The days do become lighter. The darkness is not eternal. Though we may fear it is not. It is literally impossible for it to be so. The world cannot be unmade. You can get into a dark place about it sometimes, like Adam HaRishon and me. That's normal. One might even argue it's healthy. But you always have to remember that it is not forever. And there is something you can do other than hand-wringing and doom-scrolling. Look to Adam HaRishon from the Talmud. What does he do? He turns towards his religion, his identity, who he is. He prays, he celebrates, which means he's seeking out community, others to be around to warm his soul in the admittedly dark time that he finds himself. That is how it's how we will get through the tough times that always cycle upon us in history. It's how we Jews have managed to survive thousands and thousands of years. We have done it before, and we are doing it again because we are a people of light and love. And because of that, we will never be bereft. I wish all of us, days of ever-increasing light, a happy winter solstice, and a Shabbat Shalom.
On that light and happy note, we're going to go to Aleinu on page 56. Please rise.
אנחנו חולים ומשתחווים ומורדים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ועושה הארץ ומשה וקרוי בשמיים ימעל ושכינת הזו ושכינת הזו וגול כמרומים ואלוהינו אלוהינו אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו כבודו בתורתו בדעת היום והחשבות אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ימעל ועל הארץ מתחת עינו. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום האחרון יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמעו
And you may be seated. We'll now recite the Mourner's Kaddish for those who are mourning and those observing a yard site. And the Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 58. Tonight, Beth Yeshurun extends its condolences to the family of Rowena Ungerman Galverston, who was taken from us in this past weeks and days. So, Mourner's Kaddish, page 58. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah v'yalma divrah chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach le'olam le'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnasei V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudsha barechu. Le'ila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. Osei shalom b'ramav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. Friday nights, we like to extend Mazel Tov and Yasher Koach to those who are celebrating anniversaries, and we have 5 anniversaries this evening. First anniversary tonight is our Ark openers, Marcy Rothman and Tammy Pye, celebrating 10 years of marriage, but you're actually together for many years before. This year was pretty good for you. You took an epic road trip to Columbia River Gorge to see Joni Mitchell, Brandy Carlisle, Tanya Tucker, and the Highway Women in concert. Sounds pretty exciting. And you took an epic 3.5-week trip to Africa and saw the silverbacks and other endangered primates and the Big Five. You'll have to tell me what those are, but there are 5 of them. And you also endowed an assistant rabbi chair, my assistant rabbi chair, at Congregation Beth Yeshurun, for which I'm very grateful for your... Thank you for honoring me with that, and thank you especially for your contribution to Beth Yeshurun and your generosity. And you also wanted people to know that anybody else can make similar or other kinds of contributions to Beth Yeshurun, and you wanted to set an example for other people, and you certainly have. So thank you very much. And you're looking forward to a trip in Israel in May, and you're going no matter what. So, great. Celebrating 20 years, Dina and Scott Siegel. So it's a little bit of a bittersweet evening, of course, because you always celebrated your anniversary with Scott's father, our beloved Rabbi Jack Siegel and Toby. And so many years we celebrated all of your anniversaries together, and this is the first time this year that they're not able to celebrate because he's not with us any longer, and we all miss him very much, and I know you do as well. We all hold him in our hearts and feel honored to have received his blessings for so many years. And you said that his values, his ideals, his morals, his teachings, and his kindness and love for others will continue to be the basis and the foundation on which you raise your children, Alexis and Brandon. And you know he's watching and blessing you from above. And you look forward to the first weekend of April when Alexis will have her bat mitzvah. And in May, when Brandon will graduate from Beth Yeshurun Day School. And we wish you only good days and mazel tov and many happy occasions in the future, and we'll be blessed to celebrate them with you in the future. Amen. Barbara and Martin Lindenberg are celebrating 43 years. Mazel tov. One good thing that's happened this past year is celebrating Martin's 70th birthday, together with all of your kids and grandkids, and you have at least one of them here. Mazel tov. Oh, two of them here. Mazel tov. That's great. Oh, yes. Okay, good. So we wish you also many happy and joyous occasions in the future, and may we be able to celebrate with you and your family at those future occasions. Mazel tov. Sharon and Richard Cameraman celebrating 58 years. And of course, you also were blessed to celebrate your anniversary with Rabbi Siegel and Toby, and also miss being able to celebrate that this evening, although Toby is here, and Toby, we continue to hold Jack in our thoughts and prayers, and you as well. So Sharon and Richard, you have celebrated again with Rabbi Siegel, who passed away this past year, and he is greatly missed, an outstanding and great individual, and you were fortunate to have him as well. On the brighter side, Sharon and Richard are very happy that their children and grandchildren are doing very well in school and in their occupations, and you thank God for your health and your family and your friends, and may we also continue to celebrate many happy occasions with you. Mazel tov. And one more anniversary, Marcia and Jerry Pappert celebrating 67 years. 67 years. Your oldest grandson, Case Pappert, got married in Memphis to Megan Orgel, and you are blessed with 4 grandsons and 1 granddaughter. And Carly Pappert, your granddaughter, is also getting married to J.R. Smith in January. So Mazel Tov, Yasher Koach, 67 years. May you continue to have many blessings. We don't have any events coming up in December. That's applause, yeah. However, beginning in January, the very first Sunday in January, we're back with a bunch of events, including the beginning of the return to our adult education program. I will be teaching a new class starting that Sunday morning on unorthodox Jewish beliefs. So if you always wanted to know what unorthodox Jews believe about life after death, heaven and hell, the Messiah, why bad things happen to good people, those are the topics we'll be covering in a few short sessions. But we also will have, of course, our regular sessions with Rabbi Horowitz and myself and other guest speakers. And we're also going to have a Rosh Chodesh program special for the month of Shvat that Rabbi Ford is doing. We're also going to put out information on social media about our upcoming Mitzvah Day. The synagogue and religious school are partnering to give congregants of all ages the opportunity to participate. We'll have opportunities at Beth Yeshurun for families, pre-K and up, as well as teens and adults 13 and over, as well as opportunities off-site. Check out the registration on our social media or on our website calendar. Find something that interests you, and let's all do mitzvot together. Finally, as we approach the end of the year, we want to express our deep gratitude for your continued support as valued members of our congregation family. Your commitment to our community inspires us every single day. Our staff works really hard. We really feel committed to this community and everything it stands for, and you help make those things happen. As we approach the end of the year, we want to express our however, we must address the unfortunate reality of the growing presence of anti-Semitism, which has seen nearly 400% increase according to the ADL, which means we need enhanced security measures that you are aware of, and those measures come at significant costs. So if you can afford to make an extra donation to help us afford the extra security that we've been using, that would be greatly appreciated. We invite you to make meaningful tax deduction contributions before the end of the year. Talk to your accountants about how that can help you, and you can find the donation form on our homepage or reach out to our new development director, Meredith Siegel, with any questions. And with that, we conclude our announcements, and we're going to welcome, do we have any kids here? Yeah, let's welcome our kids to come up and help us with a kiddush and hamotzi. Please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'yavo v'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maseh Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom.